There's not a day that I don't think about you. It's rare enough we find someone we need around. Here we are, out on this road. I'll take you with me anywhere, yeah. Here's my heart, it's yours and no. I'll take you with me, yeah, I swear that my love, I got you, babe. My heart is with you always. My love, I got you, babe. My heart is with you always. When you smile above, I feel you in the wind. You're there. You've lent me miles to walk your light. Gives me this. Gives my soul life. Here we are, out on this road. I'll take you with me anywhere, yeah. Here's my heart, it's yours and no. I'll take you with me, yeah, I swear that I'm with you till I die, with you till I die. I'm with you till I die, with you till I die. My love, I got you, babe. My heart is with you always. My love, I got you, babe. My heart is with you always. I am always with you. My heart is with you always.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Longer and Harder, the show on the internet where we take a subject and we go deeper. How are you all doing today? I did see, hello, Micro. How are you? I hope you're having yourselves a wonderful Sunday afternoon. Welcome, everyone to the show. We got some things to do and talk about and whatnot, so all the good things. So yeah, welcome. Anyone also hello to everyone, I guess. Yeah, always say hi to everyone. We gotta be friendly. I'm sorry Harry was here earlier and I didn't mean to ignore you, Harry. I genuinely that was not my genuine intention. I just wasn't here. I don't know what happened. Shit, here we go again. We're gonna do this one more time. It's gonna be fantastic. So I hope you all are having yourselves a nice Sunday afternoon. It is horrible here in Omaha, Nebraska. It is like 17 degrees outside in Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in Celsius. I'm sure it's like -5 or something. It's real bad. It's real bad outside. And so my wife and I did all of our outside shit yesterday, which means that I am not leaving this fucking apartment. It's cold. It's real cold, and I don't like it. So plan for today is to. Oh, my glasses are falling apart. I just realized that. That's no good. Goodness gracious, glasses. My wife and I are gonna stay inside all day, so after this, I get to do something fun. Not really fun, but you know. I get to do something fun, which is housekeeping. Where's housekeeping? Which is, I have a video for you all. It is recorded. Everything's edited, but I don't have the visuals yet, so it's it's done. I just have like maybe half an hour's worth of work to put into it, and then that will be out for you hopefully later this afternoon if I don't get too wasted during the stream. If I get too wasted during the stream, then it's just not gonna happen. So to answer Harry's question, no, there's not gonna be another Duvet video. I do have that script written. I just have to make the time to do the thing and stuff. Hello, Luke. Hello, Evan. How are you? 70 degrees in Boston. Jesus fuck, that's downright tropical. Oh my goodness, that is so warm. So right now it's a bad podcast. It is a bad podcast. -8, that's the temperature at which balls freeze. Yeah, it's real cold. It's real cold outside. It's winter hit us hard. Like, it was like 50 degrees last week, and then all of a sudden it's just like, nope, Nebraska's gonna be a bitch to you, and it's gonna be real fucking cold now. And it was real fucking cold, and I did not appreciate it. It was no good. Never fear, you are here. Hello, John Allen Elson. Oh my goodness, WF6I, how are you? So that's housekeeping for us that we're at right now. 20 degrees Celsius. Fahrenheit is -7. Oof. Just no bueno. I tell you all. So yes, housekeeping. Video coming out this afternoon, I promise, because it's mostly done. So that'll come out this afternoon. It's going to be on sex, biological sex, and things like that. Which means that now that I have it done, I still have to contact Scientist Mel. But now that it's done, maybe Scientist Mel will be here soon. Maybe next week. I'm gonna try for next week. I'm honestly gonna try for next Sunday. I know that she has her weekly show right now, so it's not gonna happen right now. If it happens, that's kind of the scheduling problem. But hopefully Scientist Mel will be joining us soon, and maybe it's kind of presenting a little bit more on biological sex after this. But that's gonna be the next video. Then I'm gonna try to get a debate video done the week after. So here's for hoping for all of these. Along with housekeeping, what are the housekeeping things we have? School starts on Monday. Yay! School's back in session on Monday, so I'm gonna start going back to school again and working way too many hours and going to school way too many hours. So there goes my winter vacation. That was fun. Great joys was had. But I start class on Monday. This semester is less, hopefully less stressful, because I am no longer taking classes to fulfill requirements. So if I'm not doing well in class, I can just drop it and not care, because it doesn't matter. I'm kind of done with school. It's these classes that I'm taking this semester are just for funsies. I am taking a psychology class on abnormal psychology, and I'm taking an English class because I want to. I'm taking an English class. So it should hopefully be a much easier semester than before. Along with that, it means that I'm done with undergrad. Hopefully now I'm done with undergrad, because I've applied for my master's program in ABA at UNO, and so I've applied, I've done my bit. Now I just have to sit around and wait to get rejected. and then I can move on with my life. So things have been applied, which is kind of the one of the reasons that I say that is because it kind of goes along with beer of the week. A long time ago, August, September, October, one of those months, one of those burr months. I bought a beer. Hopefully, English class will help you learn to read stuff better. I would hope so. It is going to be hilarious on the first day of class when we all go around and talk about, like, what's your major? What do you hope to do in the future? And me being like, I already have a degree in English. Hi, class. I am better than you at this. And then I'm going to fail at reading out loud in the middle of class. It's going to be fantastic. I think it's called Critical Approaches to Literature, so it should be fun. It should be nice and easy. I am looking forward to it. One of the books that we are reading in class I already bought, and I've already read before, so kind of just skimmed through it a little bit, but I already read it before. Some of the other ones I haven't read, so that'll be fun. I still have like one or two more books to buy, but yeah, so that's that. So yes, this has to do with beer of the week. So we have beer of the week. It is a beer that I bought a very, 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 very long time ago. Minus 40 Fahrenheit, minus 40 C, freezing point for mercury. Is it really? Oof. I bought a beer a very long time ago. So we're gonna talk about beer. We're just gonna jump right into beer of the week. Nope. That's the one. We're gonna jump right into beer of the week. I bought this a long time ago. I think it was really expensive. But I put it in the fridge and decided that I wasn't going to open this thing until I finished applying for my master's program, which I have done. So now we all get to enjoy doing this. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. It comes in a box. Isn't that fantastic? So we get to experience this together. The joys of a pint of whatever this is. So this is the 30th anniversary ale. It's a barrel aged blend. It's got 8. It's got 8 different barrel aged beers, just blended together. It's by Boulevard Brewing Company in Kansas City, Missouri. 12.5 alcohol, and it does say things, but I didn't want to type it up because I was running late. So we're gonna read the back instead. Because we talk about how good R&D is at reading, so we're gonna have him do it. It started innocently enough. A Midwestern boy, a Parisian cafe, an unexpectedly amazing Belgian beer, a flash of inspiration. As the flutter of the butterfly's wings incite a hurricane, Boulevard Brewing became, at that moment, inevitable. Okay, guys, calm your shit down. You're good, but calm your shit down. Inspired by John's desire to do something different, our brewers created this elegant, complex blend of barrel-aged beers to celebrate our 30th anniversary. Thank you for coming along for the ride. So, for this blend, we have ourselves an Imperial Stout with in rye whiskey finished port cask, in bourbon barrels, Belgian Star Dark Ale in ruby and tawny port casks, Belgian Star Dark Ale in bourbon barrels, Belgian Star Dark Ale in California sherry cask. Ooh, sherry's always good. Not sherry casks are always good, I should say. Double mashed Imperial Stout in bourbon barrels, Imperial Stout in Spanish sherry ponchions, whatever that is, ponchions. Imperial Stout aged in bourbon barrels, followed by a ruby tawny in port casks. So, like I said, it is super cool, super big. When you misspell brewing, did I misspell brewing? I did misspell brewing. Look at that. When you get high on your own hype, they are very hyped for them. I mean, 30 years is impressive for a brewing company. So, and they are excellent. Like, I do love their beers. I just love shitting on them too. They are absolutely excellent though. That's a big can. Oh, look at that. So yeah, so it comes in a box, which I will probably keep up there because I'm a Boulevard fanboy. But look at this thing. 1 pint of delicious beer. Oh, it's got one of these fancy like champagne bottle cork things. Oof. We're gonna make a mess out of this. Okay, ready? Oh, there it goes. Oh, do you hear that? Oh, that smell. That is fantastic. All right, this will look far better than the German beers that we had last time. Sorry, Germans. But oh no, there goes pop filter. Let's see this nice little. Oh, look at that color. Oh, not gonna lie, this just looks fantastic. Look at that color. That is the color a beer should be right there. Dark as my soul. I love it. Oof. Look at that. Can't see anything behind it. That is fantastic. That is what a beer should look like. It smells great. It doesn't smell like beer like the last one. Um Ooh, it smells so good. My mouth is watering. Oh, my mouth is watering so bad. I've been looking forward to this beer for a very long time, and I'm very happy. Thank you. So along with all of this, of course, I know I thanked you all on Twitter, but I gotta thank you all on stream as well. Patrons, I know that there's Luke and Evan and Micro are here, and if anyone else is here, I don't know, Bjorn and Penny, and sorry if I forget your name, because there's a few, there's like 10 of you, and I forget your name sometimes. There's so many of you, but if you are here, thank you very much for all of your support. I know that I haven't necessarily been putting out videos as much as I would like to, and it's probably as much as you would like to. But thank you for your support. Your support did help pay for things like school fees, which I do appreciate, because some of those I have to pay for, and your patron went to that, and it also went to laptops and school materials and all that kind of stuff. So thanks to you, I was able to finish undergrad for the second time in a lifetime. Don't want to do that again, so let's hope I get into grad school, because I'm not sure I want a third time in undergrad. But thanks to you all, your support, you did help me get through school. So to you all, to all my wonderful patrons, super chat donations as well, because you all helped just as much. I thank you all for getting me through undergrad, and here's to making it through graduate school and becoming a professional in my field. So thank you all of you. Let's see how good this beer is. It's good. It's fantastic. It's a little bit I will say it's a little bit more fizzy than I want it to be. Oh, but God, is it smooth. God, is it delicious. That is a Dr. Pepper of beer. God, that's a lot of different flavors. It is good. Could be a little smoother, could be a little bit could be a little smoother, could be a little bit less bubbly, but we'll let it settle. See if it rests a little bit. Maybe it'll be better. So, we're all good with that. Fast forward 30 years, and R&D has 15 undergraduate degrees. It's true. Oh goodness, that's gonna be the. I'm just gonna get another 2 degrees at this point. Oh my goodness. Okay, so with all of that said and done, let's move on to the things that we want to talk about. All right, we have ourselves a beer menu. Objective Rhetoric and Discourse. More like reactionary and division, am I right? Ha 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 ha. That is exactly what I started shit this morning bright and early, and I shouldn't have, but Oh, what was I gonna say? Things and stuff. Oh yes, now that I'm reminded. Sorry, Objective Leadership is here, so now I've been reminded. Tuesday night at 7 p.m. My time, so 7 hours from now, whatever time zone you're in, you add 7 hours from now on Tuesday. Go check out Objectively Subjective. His channel. I will be on there on Tuesday night, so go check me out there as well, and I'm sure they will put a link in the chat and whatnot, so that you can go check it out. I'm sure it'll be great. Okay, so with that said, we got ourselves a video menu. I know that I said I was going to reset the video menu, but you know what happened? It is how I do D&D math. It's true. So I know I said I was going to reset the menu, right? I said I was going to reset the menu, but I got busy. I got busy applying for grad school, and then I got busy finishing a script and recording and all that. So it just never got done. So we're just gonna stick with this one more time, and then I promise to add it, because I do have one from Microblogganism. Jordan from Spirit Signs had an ode to Emma Watson, and it's super creepy and great, and I want to watch it with y'all. So we will at least add that one, probably like a Girl Defined and a Paul and Morgan and some Flat Earth and all that cool stuff. But we got ourselves The Truman Show by ODD TV, Alpha Males by Joe Rogan, Greta Thunberg by Rationality Rules, who also put out another fun video today, one of those days. I have things I want to say. Watchmen by Umbrella Guy, 7-Year-Old Transition by Blair White, Immigration by ARTB, and then Science Channel Fail by Sarah Michelle. The last one, the Science Channel Fail, that's not enough N's in channel. By Sarah Michelle is the video that you're gonna get later today, but but I have written down some times of things that I didn't talk about the video that I think are still worth talking about, but I didn't want to talk about necessarily in the video. So we will actually skip around a little bit. It'll be more like another mini quickie kind of thing. So you have a response to number 5 coming out. Oh, that's good. That's a good one. So God, Blair White. The things that I want to say about that lady, they're not appropriate to be said. Mean things. It's just I have my words. Okay, if you would like to vote, all you have to do is do an upside down I vote, and then the number you like to vote for in the chat, and you can vote for that. Where did my thing go? And you can vote for that video, and we will pick that one. So yes, you gotta do upside down I vote, just like the instructions say, and then vote. And now you can vote. Now that the Streamlabs has said it's open, now you can start voting. You can vote for whichever one of those you'd like to vote for. If you don't do it that way, honestly, it's not gonna count. So, so yeah. The Blair White video, I'm looking forward to watching that because Blair White has some things. She's got some things to say that I have things to say about the things she's got to say because they're bad. Especially that one. The semi-old transitioning one is the what was her name? Luna. That was Luna. Who. Her video came out before the court case was decided, and now the court case has been decided. And now that the court case has been decided, custody went to father, who is allowed to make the medical decisions for Luna, and father is kind of a transphobic asshole. Let's go with that. Transphobic asshole who is. I feel real bad for Luna because now Luna has to deal with that, and that's really, really bad. I feel God, it's so. I can't even imagine being stuck in a family that being stuck with a father that dislikes who I am. It's shared decision. Okay, good. I can't imagine having to live in a family where my father would sort of dislike what I am, like just the gender that I identify as, just because it is. Like, oh God, I can't. It hurts to think about poor Luna. It really does. Like, poor children. Stop being mean to children. Just stop being a dick to them. That's all it is. Oh. Voting for number 2 seems to. We want to talk about alpha males. Seems right, since last night we were talking about Generation Alpha. Oh, there's Generation Alpha. This is about. So that one. It's what's his name? The guy who does Adam Conover, right? Adam Conover, I think that's his name. The guy who does Adam Ruins Everything. Goes on Joe Rogan's podcast, and they talk about alpha males because Adam Conover had the video on alpha males and how it's all bullshit. And of course, Joe Rogan, being Joe Rogan, is like, no, alpha males are a thing because I say so, even though there's no real science behind it. So that's fun. Stop being mean to children, says the guy who has a record of hating on them. Okay, yes, but I don't torture I don't torture them, all right? Just don't like them anywhere near me. The best generation coming in 2025, Generation Beta. Oh gosh, why do these kids get these fucking cool Generation? I know, I want to be Generation X, Like I fucking hate being a millennial. It's awful being a millennial. Besides the fact that I'm kind of on the upper limits of millennialism. Like I'm not, I barely in the millennial category. It's also one of those like I get to be shat on all the time, which is fantastic. Also, there's who was it? I want to say that it's Plato. It's one of them old philosophers who I was watching, I think it was PBS or NPR or something. They were talking about how pretty much, oh buddy, you gotta make a decision here about sitting on me. They're talking about how pretty much generations, like older generations, have since the beginning of time been shitting on younger generations. Since the beginning of time have been like, we're gonna just shit on generations below us. And they even cited, I think it was Plato or Aristotle, who was complaining about the younger generation and how spoiled they are and all that nonsense. So it's not even like something new, right? It's not even like boomers versus millennials isn't a new thing. It's been happening for a very long time. So that's fantastic. How old am I? I am 32 and I'm going to be 33, right? 34. No, I'm 33. Shit, I'm 33. I can't math. I am 33. I'm going to be 34 in February. So I'm almost at 34. I'm getting up there. I'm getting up there in age. It's amazing being a millennial. I get to sit around hearing my peers complaining about how bad millennials are while not realizing that they are part of the generation. Sarkis confronted all the children he did. The quotes about how books will stop kids from learning how to memorize. Is that? Yeah, it might be it. There's a lot. Well, that's well in the millennial range, though. It is. I thought it was in the upper. I think, isn't it like 80s, 1980 to... I forget, whatever 1990, right? It's in the 80s. I'm 4 years in. All right, we can no longer vote on this poll. We are all done polling things, so let's complete the poll. Ooh, it looks like Joe Rogan won. We get to talk about Joe Rogan. That is fantastic because that's exactly what I want to do. Number 2 vote won by 50% of the votes, so that is, I believe, Joe Rogan. So we're going to talk about Joe Rogan today. That seems cool. Let's see if I still have that video, because that video has been on here for so long that I honestly don't remember if I actually kept it or not. Joe Rogan, there we go. Joe Rogan with, yeah, this one. With Adam Conover. So this is podcast 1282. Go there. This is podcast 1282 of the Joe Rogan Experience. If you don't know who Joe Rogan is, I don't know why you don't know who Joe Rogan is, because he's fucking everywhere. Also, he's an asshole, and that's okay if you don't actually listen to his podcast. He has a lot of very transphobic views, along with just very, very stupid views in general about things. So it's genuinely okay if you don't listen to him. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a fan. That's Siri. I didn't want Siri. Siri, why are you doing this to me? There we go. That's what I wanted. Okay. So, Joe Rogan Experience. 1982 to 1986 or 97. Yeah. So I'm kind of at the 2 years off. I'm 2 years off at the millennial cutoff. So if I had been born 3 years earlier, I would have been too old to be a millennial. It's mostly when it comes to being a millennial, it's one of those things that I don't necessarily identify with a lot of millennials because they're way younger than I am. So I have like a lot of friends. Like my sister isn't quite a millennial. She's a little too young. She's a little too old. Yeah, she's a little too young to be a millennial. But a lot of my coworkers kind of fall into millennial category. We don't necessarily see eye to eye on a lot of things. So it feels kind of weird sometimes. So by some definition, I'm a Gen Z, but I refuse to accept that. Good. We're gonna eat the alpha males of this menu. I feel like beer does pair well with the topics, so there's that. Oh goodness. If you like me, yeah, go subscribe to all the things. Go subscribe to Objectively Subjective, and go check us out on Tuesday. Okay. Sorry, buddy. Okay, Hobbs is sitting on me. I wanna show you Hobbs, but he's also sitting in a very awkward spot. So let's see what we can do here. Let's see what we can do about getting Hobbs in the picture. Move beer to that side. There he is. Look at that cutie. Look at that cutie. We got the Hobbs cam going. Okay, so so with all of this said, we got ourselves Joe Rogan and Adam Conover from Adam Ruins Everything. See what things they have to say.
Is it good?
Yeah.
All right.
Cut all this out.
Right. Hello, Adam.
The video sped up because I was watching Sarah Michelle's video. It's just going to stay sped up, just so you all know, because I'm too lazy to fix it.
Hey, thanks for having me, Joe.
Hey, thanks for being here, man. I appreciate it. I'm a giant fan of your show.
I really appreciate that.
I love the fact that it annoys people, too.
It really pisses people off. That's the goal, pretty much. I mean, I'm not the kind of person where I'm like, if you're pissing people off, you're doing something right, but there's some truth to that.
There's some truth to that. And also the way you...
Should I talk about my opinion about Adam Ruins Everything? I think I've talked about because it does piss people off. 2, it also pisses off Adam fans. If you talk shit about Adam or his show, it pisses people off too. Which I found out a bit ago when I had a friend of ours came over for dinner. And we watched Deadpool, and we were gonna make salsa and whatnot. So we were hanging out, and while we were getting things ready, we started talking about Adam Ruins Everything. and I kind of disagree with the fan love for Adam Ruins Everything. I think it's neat, but it's that same kind of science. What is it? God, what's the expression? Science communication. It's the same kind of science communication that like Neil deGrasse Tyson does. Which, while I like Neil deGrasse Tyson to a certain degree, I also get really annoyed with his like actually stance of things, and then it just gets annoying after a while. Like it's cute at first, but then it just gets real annoying real quick when you're just like actually about everything. And I also think that a lot of what Adam does is I think he misses a lot of the big picture of things, and he gets shit for that, but it doesn't actually fix it. Like he really genuinely, I see, like he focuses a lot on the details and how the details are wrong, which is fine. The details are sometimes wrong, and I don't think he really like I don't think he necessarily like I don't think he's necessarily saying anything that's like wrong or scientifically incorrect or anything. It's just that I think he misses the big picture. So he talks a lot about, like, at some point he had that STD video, which pretty much was like everyone kind of already has STDs because, you know, everyone already has one, which like isn't wrong, but it's also like the point here isn't to like the point of a lot of STD like talking things isn't like preventing STDs. Just like if you already have them, it's like they're kind of, for some people they're dangerous and they're hurtful, and to just be like, oh, everybody already has one kind of is dismissive of like the fact that for some people STDs are very dangerous. They're still a disease, they still are harmful, and you kind of minimize them to like everybody has them, so it's fine. And I just like, dude, your camera's on your chest. It is because there's a cat here. That's the only reason that the camera's on my chest. Because look at this cutie. I wish he was facing the other way. Look at this cutie. So that's kind of my problem with Adam Ruins Everything. Again, I don't know how often he's actually wrong, like he's actually cites something wrong or says something that's factually incorrect, but just kind of that approach. It gets old real fast. I don't think there's like a I don't think there's necessarily something wrong with pointing things that are wrong out. I fucking show, right? But there's definitely a, like, at some point it gets a little much. Like you get a little much. I think the last time that Neil deGrasse Tyson did it, when he was like, when people were outraged about whatever the last fucking 5 shootings, whatever happened, right? Whenever that happened, and he was like, well, you know, a lot of people just die from flus and common diseases. It's like, okay, like, yeah, you're right, but you're kind of missing the point. And I think Adam kind of gets a little bit too close to that, where, yeah, you're not wrong. Like, you're not wrong, but you're kind of missing the point about why people think this is a big deal. And I think that happens a little bit too much with Adam. That's just my opinion. Happens with other YouTubers and Twitter accounts. And Objectively Subjective talked about this on Friday night. I want to say Friday night. They talked about this in veganism, which because somebody pretty much did that. Pretty much did the fires. There's the fires in Australia. Australia's on fire, by the way. In case you didn't know, Australia's on fire. And somebody on Twitter's was like, well, you know, there's a lot of animals that die in the fire, but did you know that industrial farming for whatever, or killing and, you know, all that meat eating industry, they kill a lot more animals. So why aren't you concerned about that? Why are you concerned about the animals on fire? And it's like, I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Like, statistically, number-wise, you are correct. More animals die every year or every day from, you know, for us meat eaters, right? You're entirely correct, but you're missing the fucking point about the fact that there's a continent on fire. Like, you just missed the point. Like, being factually correct is one thing, but being factually correct to the point that you miss the point of what people are actually upset about is entirely different. Like, yes, be correct, but to what, you know, is it really worth to be correct just so that you can be an ass. I don't know, not really. So check out Objectively Subjectives on our last nerve on Friday. They all talked about it, and they did a much better job than what I just did. So go check it out, because definitely a thing. And veganism. God, we're already on veganism. We haven't. This isn't. Yeah, I know. Yeah, but farming doesn't result in the possible extinction of several small range species. Entirely correct. I think this was. I think I brought it up. I think I either brought it up on there at some point. I brought this up, but I think. Is it koalas that are kind of now extinct, or not like extinct, like they're still there, but their population of koalas is now so small that recovery is impossible. So yeah, we still have koalas, but we're not gonna have them for very much longer. Like once they're, am I wrong on that one, on the extinction of koalas? I heard it somewhere that their population because of fires is down to like and the destruction of koala environment. That there's really. It's either going to be really hard or impossible for koalas to repopulate. Oh, that was the one that was blown up by the media. Okay, well, maybe I was wrong then. But yes, either way, so don't listen to me about koalas. I don't know shit about koalas, apparently. But either way, yeah, there are species that will probably are going to potentially go extinct and or be endangered because of these fires. Also, there's a fucking continent on fire. So there's a lot more to it, and to just kind of ignore the point of why people are upset about the fire, just to be like, well, actually farming, right? Hello, Gio, how are you? Yes, Primary Cat is here and enjoying the lap. So yes, that was a very long-winded way for me to say that's my issue with Adam Conover. Very long-winded way. With that said,
structured the name. I mean, I don't know if you came up with the name of it, but Adam ruins everything.
I think I might have to give that to my former boss, Sam Reich, College Humor. Might have. I think we came up with the name together. He might have been the first person to say it, but yeah. Thank you. I'm really. Yeah, it like lets you know. It lets you know that hey, this is going to annoy you a little bit. That like I'm going to be telling you shit that you don't want to hear. That's going to make everything a little bit worse. But at the end of the day, it makes it better. It's an optimistic show at the end of the day. Where,
sure. Yeah. You give them the truth.
I think that. Yeah. I mean, the thesis of the show is that it's always better to know the truth. That it's momentarily uncomfortable, but hopefully for most people, 99% of people who watch the show, it grinds your gears a little bit to find out something. Like, oh, I thought that was true. Crap. But then at the end, we show you why you're actually better off knowing that thing, and you're always.
That's actually rather appropriate considering what the video is going to be later on. There are researchers who don't know if the species of study will still be there. Ooh, that's rough. So this is kind of what Adam's saying about the truth and sciencey things and all that nonsense is kind of very relevant to the video that'll come out later today. Keep an eye out on my channel if you want to watch that on biological sex, because that is one of those things that people it makes people very uncomfortable. I don't entirely understand why it makes people very uncomfortable, but it does. But it's also one of those things that it's like you can be all uncomfortable about it as you want, but it's still the truth of the matter, and it's still like yeah, sure, get uncomfortable about it, but don't continue to deny it afterwards. So that's got to be a theme moving forward.
Better off knowing the truth, in my view.
Yeah, in my view as well.
Yeah.
Was there one episode that stands out as being one that people got the most upset about?
There's a bunch of them. I mean, people get upset with us for a lot of different reasons. We did one about how breastfeeding isn't better than formula feeding. It's not? No, they're both like formula feeding is fine, and if the problem is formula feeding is becoming stigmatized now, and there's a lot of people who can't breastfeed or who for medical reasons, and the fact is that formula is like a scientifically proven wonderful way to feed a baby, and if someone's choice or need is to do that, there's no reason to stigmatize it. We go through all the reasons that's the case. And yeah, people get a little, there's a lot of people who sort of have an ideology about that, and don't want to hear the truth about it.
So again, just to pause, I know that I'm just kind of more or less reiterating the same thing we were talking about earlier, but there is with the stigma, well, not the stigma, with the learning thing. This is hilarious, right? That right now, Joe Rogan is all like, yeah, no, we should learn the truth and accept it and kind of change our minds. When in about a minute or so into this video, they're going to talk about alpha males, and Joe Rogan is going to do the very thing that Adam Conover is talking about, right? Biological sex is a weird phrase. It is, sorry. it is a very weird phrase. I hadn't thought about it. Okay, we'll get to things. We'll talk about that. Just a second. Gosh, what was it? Okay, so yes, it's really funny because Joe Rogan is about to engage in the very behavior that Adam Conover is talking about right now, which is people who get like it grinds their gears to be told something that goes against their preconceived ideas, right? And so that's more or less about to happen here as soon as we get to that portion. Sorry, Hams has decided he no longer wants to be my pet, and has left me. So let's see. Whoa, goodness, sorry if I'm making everyone dizzy. Okay, so that's gonna happen in a little bit. Okay, so biological sex is a weird phrase. It is a weird phrase. I don't know how to say. So the whole thing is weird. One of the things that that I was reading. So while I was doing research on this video, one of the things that I was reading, and I think it's fascinating, and it's something that I had to argue with people quite a bit when that time that era happened back in April, was that people were like, oh no, sex is oh my goodness, video, stop freaking out. Sex is biological, as opposed to like gender, which is a bit of a weird thing to say as well, that like gender isn't biological. And I kind of read an opinion, like a paper on why like gender is also biological, because when you think about it, the thing that determines your gender, or the way that you experience gender, right, is the thing that does that, the thing that experiences that is your brain, because your brain is a biological thing. So to say that like gender isn't biological is kind of a weird thing to say, because it's determined by your brain. Your brain bits are biological. So both your gender and your sex they're both biological components, right? Yes, the term biological sex is weird, but that's it. Little known fact about Rhetoric&Discourse: he doesn't use lights. Nebraska has no trees, and it's that bright all day long. It's actually not that bright. It's kind of gross outside. You know how gross outside it is. It's super cloudy and gross, and I like none of it. Of course, the big question about whether rocks are people or not is, are rocks atheist? Huh, Evans? Are rocks atheist or not? Let's not discuss that. I want nothing to do with discussing rocks or babies as atheists. Nothing. That's a stupid conversation. I want nothing to do with it. It's just the worst. If rocks and babies, maybe they can have sex too. Oh, I want nothing to do with that conversation. Sorry, it's a very silly conversation. I don't enjoy it very much. Hey, Pasta, how are you? Hope you're having yourself a wonderful Sunday. Are you working today? You're working a Sunday afternoon? I hope you don't. It would be bad. Do you do brunches? You probably have to do brunches. Oh, those are never fun. Okay. Okay, we're gonna listen to more of this.
We did one about trophy hunting animals, about how, because people get so mad, oh, look at this guy shot a lion, right? And the truth is that in some countries, not 100% of the time, but in some countries, they are effectively using trophy hunting as a way to protect the animals, because that's how they're able to sort of like monetize.
Oh, the trophy hunting thing. All of them. You are next week, not this week. Okay, good. The real question is God an atheist? Is God an atheist? Ooh, there. Wrap your mind around that, peeps. Is God an atheist? It's a debate of our times. How can you not want to take part in such an important conversation? Oh goodness.
In that place, and get money coming in order to protect the animals, and they're very specific and strategic about it, and it can be part of a good sort of animal management strategy, and it's being used to some success. And yeah, people don't want to hear that, right? It's still really hard.
That's a weird one to me, and I hunt.
Yeah,
that the whole lion and elephant thing, like,
right?
Ooh, that's a weird one.
Well, what they can do is they can say, okay, well, we've got these.
So we're talking about trophy hunting, and again, not 100% wrong. At all. Like, yes, some trophy hunting is used to like the money from trophy hunting when it's done legally, right? So here's part of the problem. What I mean about Adam kind of missing the point. When it is done properly, right? When you sort of go through the proper channels and do trophy hunting, the money that and again, not always, and even Adam says this, not always. Some of the places that do this, the money goes right back into conserving that animal, conservation efforts, right? And so yes, you can do this. However, that's not, again, it misses the whole point, which is that not one, trophy hunting is still, like, in and of itself is kind of a weird like a lot of it is kind of a very weird thing to do. Like, right, like shooting a caged animal and then being like, look, I shot this exotic thing. That, like, regardless of whether the money is used for conservation efforts or not, that's a very, I personally find a very morally not good thing to do. Like, it seems like morally just not a good thing to take a caged animal, like, unless you're gonna do it for like a very specific, like, you know, take it out because it's hurt or whatever. But like, take an animal like a lion, which you're not gonna eat, you're gonna take the pelt home and just do it just so that you can show off to say you killed a lion, is very odd. It's a very weird behavior. I don't get it. I don't necessarily find that it's a very moral behavior to do. It's just kind of weird, right? Well, I don't get wanting to kill animals just to brag about the murder. Yeah, that part's weird. Like, killing animals for resources, meat, bones, skin, pelts, and all that makes sense, right? Killing so like hunters who do that, hunters who and even hunting like deer hunting. I know that in Wisconsin, I used to live in Wisconsin, and in Wisconsin, you're encouraged to go deer hunting, like encouraged. The government encourages you to do that. And it's got to do with the fact that because humans have encroached into the habitats of wolves and other predators of deer, the deer population in Wisconsin is kind of ridiculously out of control in a lot of places. So the only way to control that is to have humans kind of help control the animal population. So, but you still end up using, you still end up getting the cuts of the deer that you killed. You still use it, and it's and it serves a purpose, which is one, to help sort of take the population down and to get meat out of it, right? It serves a purpose. To kill just so that you can have a picture of you killing that thing, that's just weird. Like, that I don't get. And again, this I think is the problem with Adam Conover a lot of times, is he misses that, like, it's not just people. The problem with trophy hunting isn't just the money portion, that people are like using the money or you're paying to do this. The problem, there's moral problems with it. And yeah, you can talk about how like helps, but I feel like maybe also trying to find a better solution than just trophy hunting to conserve animals might be a good idea too. So it's that, like, you're not wrong, Adam, but you kind of missed the point of why people are upset. Haven't had venison in a long time. No, venison is good. That and the conservation efforts to bring the wolf population back has helped as well. Yeah. So again, you're not wrong, Adam. Just you missed the point. You missed the point a little bit. That's all.
Elephants. One of these elephants is an old male that's like killing the other elephants, right? And if we organize these hunts where you got to pay $500,000 for the right to even go in there,
does that happen with old male elephants? I know that was the issue with that giraffe. That woman that got
I
in trouble.
actually don't know that specific case.
Yeah, there was a woman who got in trouble because she shot this really beautiful giraffe. It was really dark and unusually colored, and it was dark because it was very old. The older the giraffe, apparently the males get really dark. It was really cool looking. But she shot it.
The wolf population is doing so well enough now that they've been granting some wolf licenses. Oh, that's interesting.
And everybody went crazy on the internet because, she was posing and smiling with this giraffe. But apparently that giraffe had to be killed because it had killed at least 2, maybe 3 young males, and it was no longer of a viable breeding age. So they were in a situation where they didn't have the money to take it and bring it to a zoo somewhere.
Yeah.
And they would have gotten money from having this woman come in and shoot it. And so that's what they did.
Yeah, that's sort of the idea, I mean, one of the issues is if you've got an area where, one of the problems is you need to have a reason for the people who live in the place to care about the animals. You know what I mean? If it's just like, hey, the elephants are going to roam free. Well, you've got people there who are like, all right, fine. So I'm living near some elephants. Occasionally they eat my crops and shit, and that annoys me. I don't really give
occasionally.
Yeah, exactly. I don't give a shit about that. And what that allows to happen is allows poachers to come in and kill them wantonly, right? But if instead, okay, we're protecting them, we have a revenue stream, right? We get money when, hunters come in and pay a lot of money.
Grumpy Grandpa Giraffe, yeah. The giraffe was just sentenced to death. Yeah, I don't know that story, so I'm not going to necessarily comment. Again, remember that meme that was going around, Spielberg having supposedly killed a dinosaur? That'd be hilarious. Yeah, like, again, like, the outcome of it, right? So if we take this one case, right, the giraffe, right, the outcome was say overall in the positive, right? The outcome was all overall in the positive. Yes, we got the chance to make money off of an animal that would have, in any other situation just have been put down and no money would have been gained for it. But we gained money that can be used for conservation efforts. Like, yeah, like that's the net outcome. That's good, right? Like that's good. That doesn't get us to like the fact that this behavior is still very weird. Like that gets us to like, yeah, it might be good, but that doesn't mean that that's how we should make money to conserve, right? Like we should be just trying to conserve these animals for the conservation of animals. We shouldn't be having a necessarily an industry where we find it okay to just kill animals just to like put a little extra ding mark on your wall that said I killed a giraffe. You know. I suppose this was supposed to be about alpha males, right? We're getting there. I forget how long this intro is. I'm glad we sped this up. But yes, we're getting there.
To go kill one animal, right? Now we've got a way to hire guards. We've got a way. This is now a resource that we're protecting, right? And that sounds a little.
So it's odd that this is going to be about alpha males if they just defended killing an obvious alpha male giraffe. That's true.
Cynical, but it is working in some places, and
it's both. It's cynical and effective.
And we had a woman on from the IUCN, International Union for Conservation of Nature, big conservation group, talking about how this is effective. Now, in some places, if you've got a corrupt government where they're just going to pocket the money, yeah, that's bad, right? But the point is, just because the mere idea of someone going overseas and killing an animal is not necessarily the worst thing in the world, we have to look at the details of the situation, and that's hard for animal lovers to hear. Animal lovers don't like to hear that.
Yeah, they don't. And like I said, I don't like to hear it. I wish I
don't like to hear it either.
Yeah, I wish people would just. What freaks me out more than anything is that there's no other options. It's not like a bunch of people are donating a bunch of money to keep these areas.
I mean, there are other options, but you know, taxation and whatnot.
Clean and free of poachers, and
the amount would be massive, right? We can donate
so
money,
money,
but that's when you've got a problem that big and intractable as how do you save these animals, you know, and against habitat encroachment, right? Again, you know, people want to farm on that land. People have lives, right? They're not sitting around going. The people in those countries are not sitting around going, oh, I love the cute elephant, like we have the luxury to do. They like fucking live there, right? And so how do you get those?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I admit that I killed him, but you realized that he was a total Chad. I rest my case.
People in that society to really protect those animals. That's a hard question to answer. And some places are having success with that strategy. And that's something that we can understand. We don't have to approve of it in every single case. And we can say that's really tough for us as animal lovers. And in fact, the character who I'm talking to on the show says, I still just hate the idea of an animal being killed, right? And I say, yeah, so do I, right? We try to dramatize that emotional, you know, resistance on the show, like that emotional reaction that we have. I also don't like the idea of an animal being killed brutally. You know, I think I'm uncomfortable with the idea, right? But if my main goal is to preserve the population of these animals overall to stop them from going extinct, maybe I need to accept that this tough truth that once in a while one's got to be shot through the head with a rifle. Maybe I need to accept that.
It's weird. Right?
That's what our show's about.
It's really weird when it comes to things that people don't eat, like lions and stuff.
I don't understand the psychology.
I feel like Michael Douglas in what was that movie with Val Kilmer? The Ghost in the Darkness. The lions that decided to kill those dudes.
I've never heard of this movie.
Oh, it's a great movie, man. It's a great movie.
The Ghost in the Darkness.
Yeah, I feel like it's from the 90s, but it's a really good movie about a true story about this guy that they brought. They brought this Michael Douglas character was brought in to hunt these lions.
I wonder if they do this for those rich people who just donate the money instead of paying to shitload of money just to kill other animals. Yeah.
That were systematically targeting and killing these workers that worked on this railroad.
I mean, there's lots of options, right? Like there's regulations. We could stop. There's conservation efforts. Like there are other options. It's just that. So again, to go with this like truth thing, there are other options. They're just options that people are going to be uncomfortable with because it would mean, hey, maybe we need to tax the shit out of rich people, right? It would mean that, hey, maybe we restrict, we put in regulations to help conserve these animals. And Joe Rogan and maybe even Adam Conover seem to be rather against that. So there are other options. It's just that we're not willing to do that because we don't want to piss off the rich peoples. We can't piss off the rich peoples.
This team of lions work together and start eating people.
Wow.
It's a great movie.
And
it's really good.
It sounds, and they have to go after the lions.
Yeah, they have to go kill these lions. Yeah, there it is. Ghost in the Darkness.
Oh, holy
nail-biting tension.
That is
great
a great.
For the hunters.
Val Kilmer's looking good there.
That was pre-Fatso Val Kilmer. Pre when he went off the deck. He was too handsome. He couldn't handle anymore.
Really good-looking guy.
Too handsome. That's the problem. He had to just go off the deep end.
Another one people got really mad about. This is weirdly the one we got the biggest reaction to. And to the extent that I'm a little hesitant talking about it because it always starts a shitstorm every time I do.
Vaccines?
No, actually, we've not done a whole one on vaccines, but we really should because it's coming back. I used to think that vaccines was like kind of done as a topic, and like we've gone through it. It is.
So we're getting there. Especially due to the right thing because they are morally right. I know, right? They were just all the money. Again, there's so much research on this. God, this is the annoying part, right? This show has not had enough hand fapping on sub. It's because we're not talking about depression. Oh, by the way, pasta. There, hand fap because I got so excited. Pasta. I printed off the stop being sad, dumbass thing that you made. I printed it off and I'm gonna laminate it and put it on my desk, on my wall in my cubicle. And I showed it to my desk mate. She's a really good friend of mine, and I showed it to her and she loved it. So it's gonna get framed pretty much because we laminate shit. And I'm gonna put it up on my desk just so that everybody who comes to my desk has to sit there and read these stop being sad, dumbass thing. So it's gonna be great. Stop being sad, dumbass. It's fantastic. I love every bit of that. I love the irony of it all. So I'll show you a picture. I'll tweet out a picture and then tag you once I actually get it up on my desk. So yeah. Well, I think we might get to hand fapping once we actually talk about whatever. Once we actually talk about alpha males.
It is really back and it is big. But no, we did one on alpha males. We did an episode about dating, and we did one on how the idea of the alpha male doesn't exist in humans. Like if you talk to any anthropologist, any biologist, any sociologist, right, and be like, are humans organized in a social relationship where there's alphas and betas? They'll be like, no, what are you talking about? This is an unscientific idea.
Okay, again, so this is fantastic because this whole time up until now, right, Joe Rogan has been like siding with Adam Conover about like, people need to just accept the truth when it comes to them, and like this is scientific fact and this is just we gotta accept it, but people aren't accepting it and they're being dumbasses for sort of rejecting science because of their own personal worldview or preconceived notions or whatever. So we're at that point where this has been the theme getting up to this point, and now it's all gonna fall apart and it's fantastic.
Right, and we just did something laying that out in the context of like people who are, oh, my type is I like alphas, right? Well, there's no such thing actually. Humans are you're dominant in some situations, not in others, right? It's an overly simplistic way of looking at human relationships. And I thought it was a pretty simple, straightforward thing. I was like, this is just a bit of pseudoscience that you hear people tossing out, and people went ballistic on the internet because people have sort of like built a edifice of ideology in their minds about like there's alphas, there's betas. I'm an alpha. This is what an alpha's like. This is what a beta's like. Well,
let's take away the words.
Yeah,
they're clearly men who are more aggressive and athletic and dominant and more confident, and then men who are introverted and shy and more nervous and anxious.
So again, oh god, this is actually really really fantastic because it really does show, it really does show the whole. The great theme that we're talking about this week, which is categorizing people into boxes. One of the problems between things like personalities, when it comes to like what kind of personalities you are, right, is that putting people into two categories, alphas and betas. Let's stick with men, right? Like alpha males and beta males, right? You just two categories. No, like no. Sticking people into boxes like that doesn't work because humans are far more complicated than that, right? Where you don't just have two categories. That's exactly what a beta would say. It's true. You can't have these two distinct categories because there's always gonna be gray areas, and it's one of the things that Adam was even sort of talking about earlier, where you might be an alpha when it comes to like social situations, but like a beta when it comes to other situations, right? And like there's just gonna be a lot of gray areas because people just don't fall into these. There have been attempts to categorize people's personalities. And I always got this wrong in psychology, but there is a personality test in psychology. It's not that there's a pseudoscience one. Don't listen to that one. And there's like an actual one that's like the Big Five or something like that. I wish I always remember them. The Big Five, and it's like introvert, extrovert, something. There's a bunch, right? But you when you take that test, you don't get put into like you're an introvert or you're an extrovert or you're one or the other, right? You sort of just get scores on like how extroverted or introverted you are. God, I need to look this up because it is a thing, but it's not as simple as Joe Rogan would make you think. So let's Google this shit and let's see if we can get OBS to do the right one. Nope, not the right one. Oh my goodness. No, that's my studio. There it is. So not Amazon. What am I looking for? 5 personality traits, is that the one? Big 5 personality traits? I think that's the one, yeah. Big 5 personality traits. So this is the one that is like actually, again, by science. So you have pretty much a bunch of spectrum. So you have openness to experience, consciousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. Oh my goodness. And you can see there's kind of two extremes to each one, right? There's inventive versus consistent, efficient versus easygoing, outgoing versus solitary, friendly versus challenging, sensitive versus secure. And so when you take this specific personality test, you don't just get put into like, oh, you're an extrovert, oh, you're an agreeableness, or you're a neurotism, you're an openness, right? You don't get stuck into one, but rather you get scores for all of this on how much on this scale you fit in. So it's a combination of 5 different traits, and each one of those traits is within a spectrum, because humans aren't as simple as being able to just stick them into categories and say, oh no, you're definitely in just one of these categories, because the category, like, that's not how people work. That's not how any of this nonsense works, which I do find fantastic that we got to talk about that, because that's going to be more or less what the video about is going to be later today. You're a chicken nugget. We're all a chicken nugget. It's your character sheet. Truly it is. Oh my goodness. So there's definitely a lot of, so it's just, people aren't into categories. And to try to stick them in some is real dumb, which is more or less what Adam is saying. Also, the science behind it doesn't exist. There's no, you're not going to find an anthropologist or a psychologist who will tell you that there are alpha males and beta males. No, nobody is going to tell you that, because it's bullshit, because it's pseudoscience, right? And again, the fascinating thing here is that Joe Rogan, who has been all into like, yeah, people need to hear the truth, and the truth is important, and people are just dumb when they like shut down and like don't accept the scientific truth when they hear it, is now all of a sudden going to be that person. He's going to be that person who's going to be argumentative about alpha males and beta males, and he's like determined, oh no, like these two things exist. They don't. There's nobody in science uses these categories. These categories aren't real. This isn't a thing. These categories came into existence because of wolves. Because somebody wrote a book on wolves, and in that book they put in those categories of like alpha and betas, and then later they retracted it. I forget who the author is, but it's bullshit pretty much. Like it was bullshit. Then it was bad science, and then later on they did more studies and found out it was bad science, and that that book, the statements in that book were retracted, but the people who bought into them refused the retraction, which is great. Did R&D reset the video list? I've just joined the stream. No, we didn't reset the video stream. Gonna try to do that next week. The only real alpha was the ultimate warrior. If you don't understand destructivity, then you can't be an alpha. It's true. Okay. So with that said, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a quick break. Bam. Take a quick break. We're about halfway through the show, so enjoy some. I muted myself halfway through it. Enjoy some fan art, enjoy some royalty-free music, and we will be back in just a little bit. All right, everyone, and we're back. I heard a thing. You should be able to do it with it. Yes, I should be able to animate it with my video editing software. I just have to actually do it, which shouldn't be too hard, but I got to do it. What I'm thinking I wanted to do is just like squish down a little bit and then pop up and then have like the citation needed part come out afterwards. So I just got to do that little animation, which is gonna be like 5 or 6 frames of just like bloop, and then up, and then citation needed. But I just have to sit down and do it, which is always the fun part of sitting down and actually working on shit. So I'll try to get it done at some point. I also want to figure out a way to do it with no background, which I'm not entirely sure if my editing software will be able to do it with no background, so you can like see through the sides rather than having a background. But we will see what we do here. Okay, so with all of that said, we can get back to Joe Rogan, who is gonna lose his shit a little bit here when it comes to alpha males, because he's an alpha male. Clearly he's an alpha male, right? I feel like that is half the problem with this alpha male thing is, like the alpha male thing and the is the same thing as zodiac signs, right? Like it's the same kind of nonsense where you I'm sure, and males, I'm sorry if I'm throwing you under the bus after this, all you beta males wanting to be alpha males, is that a lot of it, we want to consider ourselves the alpha males, right? Like we're not going to be beta males, we're going to be alpha males, and we will find ways that the definition will fit what we want it to be, right? So that's one part of the problem. Like zodiac signs, if you get the definition and you want to accept it, it will be fine. My zodiac sign is dinosaur. I like that one. All right. So yes, let's listen to Joe Rogan kind of do his thing a little bit more here.
And there's a scale
in some situations,
social situations.
Yeah,
and that's what we're talking about, right?
In social, yeah, but your social situation could change based on what situation you're in. You know what I mean?
Could, but like an athletic, confident male is always going to be an athletic, confident male, and an introverted, anxious male who has problems with social anxiety is going to be the same. That's who that person is.
I don't think so necessarily. But
see, again, just Joe Rogan. Yes. Faithless Hunter is definitely an alpha male. Clearly alpha male, beard, right? Super athletic. And that's, oh god, that is such the problem with Joe Rogan right now, is like he has found a system, right? He's found a system where being an alpha male is good, and he gets to call himself an alpha male. If you're gonna use the descriptions, yeah, sure, he's a Chad or whatever you want to call him, right? And so I think that's probably why he's having a hard time getting rid of it, or sort of changing his mind about it, is because if he does, he has to give up the fact that he gets to be an alpha male. He doesn't get to be an alpha male anymore if he understands that alpha and beta males aren't a thing. He doesn't get to have that little bit of status. I'm an alpha bale. I'm the best bale in the field. It's true. Oh goodness.
So when we're talking about alphas, right? Mm-hmm. In animals, what is that? It's a social hierarchy, right?
In animals. So let's take away that word. I mean, what people are using to describe when they're saying alphas and betas, they're saying like confident, strong, secure people, and people that are anxious and not confident.
So if you're trying to say, hey, like it's good to be confident, it's not so great to be anxious, like that's fine, right? But when people talk about alpha males and beta males, right, they're specifically bringing in the language of like evolution, of biology, of zoology, of evolutionary psychology, and they'll start saying stuff like, well, there's alphas and there's betas, and women are hardwired to be attracted to the alpha.
And again, 100% right. Like Adam's got it here. Like yes, as most pseudoscience, as a lot of pseudoscience. The way that it becomes palatable is that you use the language of real science, right? One of the reasons that people like Jordan from Spirit Science gets people to listen to his what is otherwise complete garbage is that you talk about the complete garbage using words of science. So you say things like vibration, and you say things like frequency and multidimensional and all those things that sound like they could be part of science. So you say things like alpha male and social hierarchies and social attraction and social awareness and all this stuff. And it makes it seem like what you are talking about is genuine scientific fact, but as Adam has already pointed out at the beginning, this is just pseudoscience, right? There are no scientific papers backing up this idea of alpha males and beta males in humans. Like that's not a thing. That's not how any of it works. We have, and it's funny because we have a lot of studies on how attraction works within humans. Like we have studied attraction in humans a whole lot because we're interested in it, right? We want to know the answers. And so it's not like the studies don't exist on how human attraction works to women, right? Or not necessarily men to women, but other attractions in general. We have a lot of really good science on it, and a lot of it is very interesting. Oh God, I'm trying to remember because this happened. God, I want my animal behavior book back. There's this gene that I'm trying to remember it. Okay. There's this gene. There's a gene and you can smell it. And I want to Google genes that you can smell. Obviously you can't smell the gene. That's wrong, right? You can't smell the gene, but this gene, your sweat produces a smell, and pretty much it is unattractive to people with the same gene, so you don't double up on it. Fudge! What was it? Oh, I wish I remembered it. Like, there's so many studies on this where they pretty much asked a bunch of people to get all sweaty. It's the MHC. Is that what it? I think that sounds about right. MHC. So I mean, the studies are pretty much you get a bunch of dudes to like run in their t-shirts, right? And then you take those t-shirts and you give them to women, and then you pair them up, and it turns out that they can actually not smell the gene. You can't smell the gene, right? But the gene has produces it's part of your immune system. Thank you. I know that I'm not crazy. I just have to look this shit up. But saying genes that you can smell doesn't work. But you are not attracted to. You find it unattractive. The people who have this gene is due to the way that they smell. So again, to Joe Rogan, attractiveness, right? Finding people attractive or unattractive is not a matter of just a simple you are an alpha or you are a beta. It's not. Human behavior isn't that simple. That's the problem with a lot of this stuff. With a lot of the things like categorizing people into two categories, alphas and betas. One, there's gonna be overlap. There's gonna be it's not 100. You can't just have these two boxes, right? There's gonna be some overlap. But along with that, you're also gonna have the fact that the science disproves it. The science shows that there are other ways that people find what is or isn't attractive, and you ignore that because you want to stick to this idea that it's alphas and beta males, and you're just going to entirely ignore it. And I find it funny because your argument, Joe Rogan, is going to be, no, these things exist. Like that so far has been his argument, is like, oh no, these things exist. It hasn't been. The study shows that these things exist. It hasn't even been an anecdote like these things exist. It's just these things exist. Like there are people who are more socially awkward than other people. That doesn't mean that you can be like you're a beta male because you're more socially awkward. And not all social interactions are exactly the same. Not all social interactions require the same kind of social interaction, right? You get yourself. Let's just go with the stereotypes that Joe Rogan is using here. You get yourself a big strong alpha male who's all into sports and whatnots, and you get him in a room with a bunch of academics you're sitting around talking about whatever fucking biology. They're gonna probably be more socially awkward and less socially successful in that setting. Not all social settings are exactly the same. You can't just say alpha males are gonna be successful in all social settings. People with certain personalities are going to be successful in certain social situations, and other people are going to be successful in other social situations. I have a friend who's extremely awkward. She's fantastic, but she's extremely awkward. And we get along just fine. Like, our humor matches together, and we get along fine, and we kind of understand our social sort of... I understand her social awkwardness, and it works out fine, but she also does terrible in big group social situations, to the point where we've often left like big group social situations because she doesn't do well in that. She does better one-on-one with somebody who kind of gets her humor and all that. And that's just because people are fucking different. Fucking biology, the best biology, yes. It's because mating with someone with different immune system will increase the range of diseases that your offspring will be resistant to. Yes, thank you. And I really, MHC, what does MHC stand for? Do we know? You probably know. I don't. I'm gonna do the dumb thing, and I'm gonna be like, hey Google, smelling genes. Yeah, smelling genes is all I can. Smelling genes. It's all I can think of. Sense of smell determined by genes. Study says sense of scent. Let's put immune system in here. Immune. That's not how you spell immune. Immune system. Thank you, Google, for spelling things. Can you smell your partner? There we go. MHC. There we go. This is the thing that I was talking about because I'm not crazy. Can you smell the perfect partner? So this is more or less the thing. Compatibility genes. The T-shirt study. MHC. Here we go. Oh my goodness. This is the basic for this notion is the so-called smelly T-shirt experiment, first performed by Swiss zoologist called Klaus Wedekind in 1994. He analyzed a particular bit of DNA of a group of students, looking specifically at the major histocompatibility genes, MHC. The students were then split into 48 females and 44 males. The men were asked to wear plain cotton T-shirts for 2 nights while avoiding anything, alcohol, cologne, etc., that might alter their natural order. After 2 days, the T-shirts were placed in a cardboard box with holes in them, and the women were asked to rank the boxes by smell using 3 criteria: intensity, pleasantness, and sexiness. Ooh! I wanna find out the sexiness scale. I'm up there. I'm up on the sexiness scale. Wedekind's is a dumb name, and I hope that's not how it's pronounced. Results appear to show that women prefer the T-shirts worn by men with different compatibility genes from themselves, raising the possibility that we unconsciously select mates who would put our offspring at some genetic advantage. The experiment was controversial, but it did alter scientific thinking about compatibility genes. And while the mechanism behind the phenomenon is poorly understood, this hasn't stopped dating agencies from employing MHC typing as matchmaking tools. One lab offering such testing to online agencies. You can't smell potential partners over internet, but not yet. A Swiss company called Gene Partner claims with general compatibility, people will feel rare sensation of perfect chemistry. So yeah, that's more or less that's the thing that I was talking about. I am not full of shit. Sometimes. So yeah, it is a thing. It is a thing that we know about, and it's fine. Oh, okay. Major histocompatibility complex. Have fun reading that one. I did. Gotta head out now. See you later. Maddie, we will talk to you on Tuesday, if not before that. Okay. So, with all of that said, I don't even remember what Joe was saying. He was saying something stupid, probably.
No, because that's what it's like in nature. Like, they'll be using that language, right? And so what we're pointing out is that's not scientific, right?
It's not scientific, but it is true that women are hardwired.
Okay. Not scientific. Which should have been the end of your sentence, Joe. That right there should have been the end of the sentence. You should have stopped talking at the moment that it was unscientific. You can say as much as you want to say. Oh, but it's true, but it's not, Joe. It just ain't. I'm hardwired for I am hardwired for micro. Now the water hit me with a lot of insider. That's the point.
Hard to be attracted to confident, athletic men.
I don't know if I agree with that. But
really,
yeah.
You don't think that women look at like pro athletes and like big, strong, athletic men, and you don't think they're drawn to that for evolutionary reasons?
The best part about that is that Joe Rogan's like confidence is like shaken. He's like, but I'm a big athletic guy. Why aren't all women just attracted to me automatically? Like, calm your ego down there, Joe. Yeah. Joe, has Joe never heard of the dad bod? Apparently not. Bod, not bud. bod. So and again, so fun studies. There's a really great study which I love. Also, if you're married or and not, maybe if you're single, dudes, maybe if you're single. There's some really fun studies about wearing wedding rings. So if you are wearing wedding rings, there are studies showing that women find you more attractive when you are wearing wedding rings than when you are not. It's got something to do with like if somebody else has already like chosen you, how bad can you really be? Pretty much like, hey, you're good enough for someone else. You can't be that bad, right? It's more or less it. So if you wanna go pick up ladies, guys, wear a wedding ring. Obviously, apparently, women find you more attractive, and there's some fun studies on that. Also, there's some fun studies on birds that did the exact same thing. Not wedding rings, but like birds that were paired together. There were some fun studies showing that birds that were paired together, male birds that had a mate were more attractive to females than male birds that didn't have a mate, which is again fantastic. Like having a mate makes you more attractive to the to people or birds. Oh my god, is that the mistake I made? It's true. It's just wear a ring. There's really great studies about this. It's hilarious. Wear a wedding ring. Wear a fake wedding ring. You'll get more ladies. Don't listen to R&D about dating advice, but the studies show that. This is what study shows. I'm just best way to meet people lie. Don't listen to R&D. I'm just telling you what studies show. But yeah, fun fact. And again, there isn't Joe wants to be like, oh no, like of course I'm found sexy because look at me, right? And again, there's not a single type of man or partner or whatever, right, that is universally found attractive, right? There's variability because that's the way that shit works. Joe, like, and I know you don't want to give this up because you want to think of yourself as that lady man's that you certainly are, but you're wrong, and the science doesn't agree with you. But you're being that jackass that you were making fun of earlier, who doesn't accept the science because it contradicts their worldview. You are being that person. Imagine that. Oh, I'm heading to the jewelry store tomorrow. You should, because people are more complicated than these dude bros think. Exactly.
No, I don't actually. I think.
Okay, do you think that men are drawn to women with small waists and big hips and large breasts for evolutionary reasons?
I think that's an easy. I think what that is that's an easy intuition to come to if you're like looking at the way people behave, right? But one of the things about evolutionary psychology is it's the most common mistake to look at the way that people do behave and say the reason we behave that way is because evolution says that's the best way, right?
That's actually a really good point. So the thing about evolution is it doesn't have a goal, right? Like the evolution doesn't have an end goal, right? Like there isn't a perfect woman that evolution is trying to get us to, or a perfect man that evolution. There isn't a perfect whatever that evolution is trying to get us to, right? Like evolution doesn't have a goal. There is no goal to evolution. I arguably, I guess you could say survival is the goal, right? But there is no goal. There is no ultimate thing that evolution is trying to get to. So this and Adam points this out pretty well, that to say, oh, this is what evolution is trying to get us to isn't small tits is a category on Pornhub. Explain that, Joe. Yeah, is that like there isn't, right? Like people want to like Adam said, people want to say, well, this is the way that people behave and therefore it's evolutionary advantageous. No, not necessarily. And again, evolution shouldn't tell you how you should behave. It might tell you why somebody behaved that way, but it shouldn't tell you how you should behave in the future. And two, there isn't a goal. So if you want to be like, yeah, big boobs and small waist are the goal right now, there's nothing saying that is the ultimate goal. There's something that goal might change. Again, not that evolution has a goal, but the advantages that you get from those characteristics might change in the future. That's probably a cleaner way of saying it. the advantages that you gain from that might change in the future, and they might no longer be advantages. And so evolution will just they don't care. They don't have a goal, right? Evolution doesn't have a goal, so it's just going to switch and be like, no, we don't want to do that right now, and we're going to do this instead, and this is going to be the advantageous thing. I am personifying evolution way more than I should. Bye Evans, have a good weekend. They might say that they love big butts and boobs, and in reality, we don't actually have that specific of a standard. Yeah, it's a thing. Like, again, human behavior isn't this simple. Like, Joe wants to have human behavior be simple. It isn't that simple. Human behavior is very complicated. There's a lot of variables when it comes to attraction. Attraction isn't just one variable. It isn't two variables. It isn't three. It's a whole lot of variables. Some of them has to do with nurture versus nature. Like, some of it is kind of, innate gene stuff. Some of it is just in the environment that you grew up in. What people find attractive. This can be seen with just the fact that what people find attractive now versus what people find attractive before has changed. The standards have changed, and that's fine. Like, this idea that it's evolutionary beneficial is really just absolute garbage. Joe likes big butts and he cannot lie. I think all the brothers can't deny.
That's their argument. For instance, I'll give you an example. That's the argument arguments like that were used, for instance, to justify slavery, right? That, like, oh, because whites and blacks have this.
Oh, Jesus fuck! Adam went to slavery. Oof.
Hierarchical relationship in American society. That's the way it was intended. That's how nature intended it to be, right? But we can't.
So, again, Adam's not wrong. That's the thing about Adam. He's not wrong a lot of the time. So yeah, this is also what Lobster of Man does. Jordan Peterson does, right? He's like, this is the way that it should be. This is what eugenics does. This is what we're gonna use the N-word here, Nazis. Wrong N-word for those of you who thought the wrong thing. This is what all of it always boils down to, is creating categories and a hierarchy in humans that doesn't actually exist, and then actually trying to apply it past a reasonable point, like, not even past like forcing it on people, forcing it as a thing, right? This is what Jordan Peterson talks about with his lobsters and how there's a hierarchy and all that. Like, that's not how people work. That's not how human behavior works, and it's pseudoscience.
It's a giant leap. We're talking about like the shapes of bodies. Like, men universally are attracted to a certain shape of bodies. There's
No, Joe. God, universally. Jesus fucking Christ, Joe. I love you and your stupidity. I don't actually like you. You're a dumbass. I like your stupidity so much, especially considering the beginning of this video and how much you shit on people who refuse science, right? I absolutely love it. And then you just out of fucking nowhere, you're like, men universally prefer a certain body. No, they fucking don't. Jesus fuck. Oh god, there are very few human universal behaviors. Like smiling is one of them. But there are very few things that are like universally human. A lot of it is very culturally specific. So no, you are wrong. You have your taste, and that's fine. Enjoy your taste, but it's not universal, my friend. It just ain't. God. Damn it.
Men that are attracted to different ones. And
I don't think men are universally attracted to the same
People vary,
body.
but that hourglass shape has been throughout time something that men are attracted to.
I think that hourglass shape is something throughout our recent cultural memory that we tell each other that men are attracted to, right?
There we go. Look at that, Adam. So, and I find it funny that Joe brings this up, because anthropologically, no, there have been plenty of sculptures of much bigger women who were the attractive ones during what is it, fertility goddesses, who did not look anything what you would expect a fucking Venus figurines. There you go. Fertility goddesses sculptures that look nothing like what we would find to be attractive today, or we are told we should find attractive. And I think what Adam is saying is far more important than Joe is going to give credit to, which is what we are told we should be attracted to, right? We are told we should be attracted to these hourglass figures. That's what we are told we should be attracted to. but we have not. This is not one universally throughout history. Like throughout history, you have different shapes. And I'm sorry if I'm picking on women, but that's what the subject is being talked about, right? So I'm sorry that I'm picking women, but I searched penis for fun. How did I land here? Hello, welcome, Janice. We are talking about alpha males. That's probably how you ended up here. Welcome to the show. Feel free to subscribe if you're not subscribed. We talk about random shit on every Sunday, and drink beer. It's great. We're talking about alpha males and the women figure. But yes, that's what we have been told. It's not necessarily, you don't necessarily have to find the hourglass figure attractive. You can find other figures attractive, and that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Not historically accurate, not culturally, like, what you are attracted to is different from culture to culture. And you can see this, just go look at what other cultures find attractive, and you will see a wide variety of different things. It's like, oh god, this idea that you somehow think that this is universal is so fucking dumb. It's just dumb.
That's when we're
Also, hourglass is very, very broad. It's true. That is actually a very good point.
that's what we're told from an early age to this is the sort of women that men are attracted to, and so a lot of men end up adopting that, right? But I don't think that deep down that's how men naturally are. You know?
Really?
Yeah, I read
That's
this.
that doesn't make any sense to me.
Of course not. You're an idiot.
That's so non-intuitive. Because
But I'm all about things that are
Where do you
non-intuitive.
think it started? Where do you think this narrative of men being attracted to women with large breasts and a small waist and a big ass? Where do you think that started? Because this is like evolutionary biology is pretty much settled on the idea that the reason why is the large hips would indicate that the woman would be easier to give birth. Having large breasts and a large ass would indicate that she has she's fertile, and then she has ample fat storage in the right places if she's going to be pregnant and carry children. There's all these like evolutionary biology reasons why people are attracted to certain things. Why a woman would be attracted to a tall, muscular, handsome man, good genetics, very strong and confident.
God, Joe, you are trying so hard. You are trying so hard. I did speed up the video. I did, because I don't feel like dealing with this thing. Oh. Joe is such a dude, bro. He really is. Like, come on. Like, of course women are going to be attracted to my physique. Right, guys? Right, guys? Come on, guys. Back me up, guys. No, bitch. No, bitch. That's not... You don't have the science behind you, right? You have your intuition, and that's the funny part is you were like, oh, that doesn't intuitively make sense to you. No shit, intuition sucks. Welcome to the club where you realize that intuition is bullshit and you shouldn't use it to make decisions about sciencey things, right? Your intuition is stupid. Your common sense is stupid. Don't use it. It's bad. So yeah, it doesn't make sense. It's fine. You're fine.
And can take care of her. All these things are based on evolutionary biology. So I don't understand why you think these are learned sort of cultural artifacts.
So my question is, this is an assumption that we, the public, make about how evolutionary biology works, right?
Well, it's more of a thing that we sort of agree on.
Well, we as the there's an idea among the public that this is true. I don't know if it's a scientific idea. That's my point.
I've had conversations with evolutionary biologists who explain the reason why men are attracted to certain shapes.
Most women are pear-shaped anyway. God, Joe. I love the fact that we have gotten to the point where you have become the very thing that you were laughing about earlier, which I just find super, super amusing, Joe.
Why women are attracted to certain shapes. This is sort of, I mean, this is science in a way. The reason why they're attracted to tall men that are muscular and confident is because that is what's always saved you throughout history. I mean, it only makes sense, doesn't it?
Well, just because it makes the point of our show, right, is that just because something makes intuitive sense doesn't mean that it's necessarily true, right?
God, I don't necessarily like to agree with Adam Conover about everything, but there you go. Like, there's the thing. Even if it's true, it only has to be the most common attraction for evolution to select for it. It doesn't mean that it has to be the only one. Yeah. 80s hip hop proves you're wrong, Joe. It's true. So yeah, so it's Joe likes his worldview, right? Joe likes his, and I think I know why Joe likes his worldview. Joe likes his worldview because it makes him the top of the lobster stack, right? Being it means subscribing to alpha males makes Joe, in his mind, the top of the lobster totem or whatever. And so he's struggling to get rid of that, which is God, it's really funny, again, considering what is going to be talked about in my video, which is pretty much the same thing, where we have our preconceived notions and getting rhythm is extremely difficult. Joe is struggling with that, and that's also, again, the point that Adam is making about, like, hey, a lot of people who watch my show, or a lot of people who watch my videos, sorry about that, who watch my videos struggle with the same thing for the exact same reason, that they have these preconceived notions, and then they struggle when those notions are contradicted by science. And rather than understand this, Joe goes off the deep end and just, like, full blown does the dude bro thing and is like, no, I'm going to be one of the people that I was just laughing about getting all pissed off about your show and about truth and whatnot. I'm going to now become one of those people. Top of the lobster stack. I've never heard that one before. Isn't that a bad place to be when the predators are around? That's a reference to Jordan Peterson, who does the lobster stack thing, or who does the lobsters. Gotta head outside. Mind if you drop my link for my premiere? Not at all. Definitely go watch it. What was your video about? You said it earlier and I completely forgot. It's something relevant. Oh, it's on Blair White. So, before Red leaves, he will drop a link in the description, or not in the description, in the chat, and I'll try to stick in the description. But go check that out. He's gonna talk about Blair White and Luna. God, I wish I remember her name. Luna, who is a 7-year-old, probably 8-year-olds at this point, who is going to talk about Luna, who is a 7-ish, 8-year-old-ish girl who's stuck with a parent who doesn't like her, and that sucks. I don't actually know exactly what the video is about, but you know, it should be fun. So everybody go watch that. You should. It'll be great. I am sure it'll be a fantastic video. Also, go subscribe to Red. Okay, with that said.
But don't you think that in this case that this is a varied argument? Like, I don't think that's something that you can dismiss.
I don't dismiss it, but I don't assume the truth of it simply because that's what, you know, everybody agrees upon, right?
But if you ask girls, like, what are you into? And you say, are you into tall, muscular, confident men who are also nice to you? Jesus Christ, it's going to be off the charts.
Oh, poor buddy. Oh, poor buddy. It's fine. It's fine. Like, I can... So I looked up Joe's wife, and she does not have an hourglass shape. I guess he's not attracted to him. Oh, my goodness. To her. Okay. He's not attracted to her. Oh, buddy. You are trying so hard to stay on top of the lobster stack. It's a little sad, buddy. It's fine. Like, it's okay that not all women find you attractive. It's fine. Not all women find me attractive, even though, like, super damn a 10 right here. Like, check out this hair. Damn, I am a 10. How tall is Joe? I don't know how tall Joe is. I don't think he's too tall. Maybe just under 6. Joe can't live in a world where all women doesn't want to fuck him. It's like, that is more or less what it's seeming like. Like, obviously, right? Like, if you're confident and athletic, like me, right? All women will find you attractive. Like, no, buddy, they don't. It's fine. It's okay. You're married, Joe. You have found somebody who tolerates you. Fucking be okay with that. God, I'm so mean to you. Be okay that you have found someone that tolerates you at the very minimum, but that's not real dimensions, Micro. Can we use real dimensions? Centimeters? Okay. Micro. 1.71 centimeters. Even I know. That is like way off. Like, where's my ruler? like that's like that big, buddy. That's like, okay. Get another piercing and you might be an 11 RD. It's true. I am planning on another piercing. That is true. Where's my thing? So I have them one, and I want to get just like a regular like earlobe piercing, like right here, and then I want one of those earrings that like has like a chain from like here to here, so I can like chain my ear together, which is weird, but I want one. And I saw like one that was a dragon that just like sat up here and was like, "Arr," and then the tail came out here, and I thought that was fantastic. So I would like one of those. I also need to pick new, and also I'm getting about like a week out from being able to switch this earring out, or at least what the dude said that I could switch out my earring. So I need to find new earrings to replace this one. But we're getting there. I do like it. It's cool. 171 centimeters. I'm not good at writing. I do like the idea of Joe Rogan being 1.7 centimeters. Just attach a wallet to your chain to your ear. Oh, that'd be fantastic. R&D Micro didn't specify what he was measuring. Oh, Joe. That's pretty small. Until it gets caught behind, it will suck if it gets caught on something. And I can't wear it to work. I get shit pulled off of me at work all the time. Okay. Let's listen a little bit more, Joe, talking about whatever the fuck he's talking about.
It's gonna be like most of them.
I'm really not sure that's the case.
Really?
Yeah.
You think you had like a survey of women, and if the men were equally kind and equally intelligent and friendly, you don't think that more women would be sexually attracted to these tall, handsome men with great bodies?
Joe, you're trying so hard. Not gonna lie, Joe. You sound a little pathetic right now. Like, you're trying so hard to be like, women find me attractive, Adam. Adam, I am sexy. And I need you, and I need science. I need science to validate my sexiness. Bitch, please. You're just as ugly as the rest of us, Joe. Like, fuck, you have no hair. You're fucking bald, bitch. You are just as ugly as the rest of us fuckers. You are no less and no more attractive than the rest of us ugly fucks out here. You have found somebody who apparently tolerates you enough to marry you, right? Be fucking happy with that. You don't need science to be like, oh no, Joe Rogan, pinnacle of alpha maleness. You don't fucking need that. Just be down here with the peasants. Roll around in the mud with us. You're just as ugly as the rest of us. Also, you're bald. Not gonna lie, you're fucking bald. Which I'm not sure alpha males are allowed to be bald. Joe Rogan. God damn. Oh my goodness. There we go.
I mean, look, I'm not gonna say that, like, first of all, you're positing like a value judgment in it that the bodies are great, right? So, like, are women attracted to attractive bodies? If that's the question, then I would say
dad
of course,
bods are more attractive to women. Study finds some fucking guy with a dad bod.
Look, here's something that I was really influenced by.
What do you think of that? What I just said, though, that doesn't make sense to you that women would be attracted to someone who's fit?
Look, I mean, it's a hypothetical, right? Like, certainly athleticism.
Short and bald is exactly what most women pick. I really would like to maybe we can do some research. Should we do some research? Let's see. Where's our research bar? There's our research bar. Okay. Oh, nope. Get back here, you son of a bitch. Okay. So, I don't know. What should I try? Most attractive, not man, right? Because I don't want that. Attractive body shape? Should we try that? I don't know. Today, men's health. Rebel. I kind of want to go through. Maybe I can. I'm gonna go back to this just for a second so that I can log into my my school account stuff. Let's try psychology. Yeah. I'm gonna try to actually do like a little bit of research and not be like a complete dick just on the internet. But I need to log into my student. Okay, there we go. I just need to log into my student stuff here. Okay, so body shape, and let's do attractiveness. Okay, so let's see that. Let's see if there's any studies on this at all. Something in the way she moves, biological motion, body shape, and attractiveness in women. What do we got? Most previous research into attractiveness of women's bodies has relied on the static stimuli such as line drawings or photographs, particularly focused on the role of body mass index and waist-hip ratio. However, real attractiveness judgments are invariably made on moving bodies. Ooh, this is interesting. And movements may contain important information about attractiveness. We measured the importance of movement in attractiveness judgments by using motion capture to isolate dynamic cues from 37 female walkers and compared ratings of 75 participants made on these static photographs and the original videos. Multiple regressions analyzed revealed that body dynamic and static cues were more important in the attractiveness of women's bodies. Furthermore, BMI and waist whatever ratio predict attractiveness, but BMI was more important in dynamic rather than static cues, while WHR was more important for both static and dynamic cues. These findings suggest that movement plays a crucial part in attractiveness in female bodies and cannot be ignored in studies of human mate choice. Furthermore, dynamic and static cues may contain different information related to female body shape, which further should attempt to elucidate. So that's interesting. So, I mean, just talking about going back to the fact that a moving body is much better than one that doesn't. Yeah. Chevy Chasers must confuse Joe. Yeah. Hey Joe, did you know that there are people who really into feet? Like that's the most important part of your potential partner. So yeah, so motion plays an important role. So it's not just static images. That's kind of neat. I do like that. That's kind of a neat idea there. What else we got? Television consumption analysis of body shape based on image statistics. Evidence of... What's this one about? We developed an image-driven approach to the question of what makes the shape of a woman's body attractive. We constructed a set of 625 images of female bodies by factorial recombining 4 independent descriptors of shape derived from principal components, analysis of variations in natural body shape, and had observed rates of these images of attractiveness. We then modeled observers' attractiveness ratings with polynomial multiple regressions using the same shape descriptors as explanatory variables. The resulting models agrees well with the existing models based on simple anthropometric indices of shape. However, some interesting new findings emerge. There was considerable variation in the shape of bodies that were judged to be equally attractive. Further experiments confirmed that observers could detect these subtle variations in shape, suggesting a disassociation between attractiveness, judgment, and shape discrimination. Oh, that's interesting. That is very interesting. So there's some interesting things. Let's see. A major difficulty in determining the relative contribution of BMI, WHR to judge the attractiveness lies in the fact that these two explanatory variables tend to correlate in both natural and simulated stimuli sets. In the original studies, WHR using line-drawn figures, WHR was varied by altering the torso width around the waist. However, the value of WHR rises, so also that of the apparent BMI, making it impossible to say whether changes in attractiveness ratings are made on basis of WHR, BMI, or both. There we go. The problem also is found in studies using modified photographic images of women where WHR is artificially altered or thickened or narrowing the waist of hips. Altering torso width also alters apparent body mass, so WHR and BMI are once again co-varied. Ooh. That's actually very interesting that you can't separate the ratio of width hip weight ratio from body mass index. So that's kind of interesting. Those two variables kind of go along with each other. To overcome the unintentional confounding introduced in the studies using artificial stimuli, a number of studies have used samples of ultraphotographic images of real women where BMI and WHR are both known. Multivariate analysis of attractiveness ratings of these images sets suggest that although both WHR and BMI are significant predictors of female attractiveness, BMI is far more important factor. However, because WHR and BMI are strongly correlated in neutral images, it is ultimately impossible to distinguish the actual cues of attractiveness used by raters. There you go. So, a lot of interesting things. Eyes, legs, butt in order of my physical attractiveness. What's the sample size? I don't know which one. We talked about a couple of different studies with a couple of different sample sizes. So a lot of neat studies. Again, like so if nothing else, the thing to take away from this is pulse number of teeth number of boobs is mine. The thing to take away from this is that that there is the things that we find intuitive are not always intuitive, right? And science often goes against them. And to sit there and try to make excuses about them because one, there's Joe Rogan, he would get kicked out of an exclusive group that he's part of. And two, just because it's different than what we're accustomed is kind of dumb, right? Like, and it's a lot of the point that Adam Conover is trying to make. That reality doesn't care about our feelings. I don't want to use the facts, right? Reality doesn't care about our feelings. And just because we're attached to a certain system or model doesn't make that model true. And we should be a little bit maybe more open about the fact that different models show up and different scientific facts appear. And Joe is just pretty much being the same kind of person that he was laughing about earlier about like, oh, why can't you understand that science doesn't actually agree with your intuition? I don't know if numbers of teeth is good measure. No wisdom teeth, fine. Not the front teeth, big issue. That's a very good point. Okay, so with that said, I think we're gonna end things there for now. I want to say that you should all join me later. I might be back later. I said that I'm gonna help my wife clean up her office and whatnots. But after that, I would actually like to. I found out that some of the game streams that I did a bit ago were kind of laggy and whatnots, and I kind of want to mess around with that. So I might do a stream where I just kind of mess around with game streams and see if I can get them to work appropriately. Also, I would like to draw maybe a little bit. So I might be back later this afternoon. If you're around, come join me. If you're not around, that's fine. This is gonna be more or less the end of the show. Hopefully you'll get a video in about an hour or so. Let's go with about an hour or so. You'll get a video. And then I'm gonna help my wife clean up her office, and maybe after that, I might do a little game stream because I really want to figure out the game stream thing. So we'll see. So either way, thank you everyone for being here. I do. Oh no exit yet. If you're still in the chat, definitely go check out Objectively Subjective. Do that thing. I will be there on Tuesday at 7 o'clock, which is 5 hours from now. So whatever your time zone is, take 5 hours, add it to your time right now. And at that time on Tuesday, I will be on Objectively Subjective channel talking about things. I don't know what. They are going to interview me, I guess. So what will be brought up? I don't know. Maybe something good, maybe something spicy. Who knows? So definitely go check that out. Otherwise, thank you all for being here. I do truly appreciate it. I hope you all have yourselves a good rest of your weekend, and I will see you all next time.